All right. Um, Good bye week and energized to get back to work. Had a good couple days here. Excited to go down and play a night game in Ole Miss. Should be a great environment and playing against a good team. Obviously, their record reflects that. Um, they're skilled on offense. They've played well at the quarterback position. I think their run game's creative. Obviously, their backs are really talented. Defensively, this has been a good group. They gave Auburn a tough time, and they're physical up front. They're long in the back end and athletic, and so again, much like many of the teams we play in our league, this is a good challenge for us. We've been energized coming out of the bye and glad to be back healthy, or at least relatively healthy. Just a couple of notes here. Gamarion Carter is going to be out indefinitely, and just dealing with something that's lower body injury that may keep him from participating for the rest of the season. Needs time to heal. Ezra McAllister is going to end up having season-ending surgery. That came up yesterday, so that's new. C.J. Taylor's doubtful for this weekend, although he's doing well. He ran on the treadmill yesterday and was able to bear his weight. Hasn't been able to practice yet. Has a custom brace that seems to be responding really well to, so we won't shut a door on him, but obviously want to see him moving around on the practice field before we'd put him back out and expose him to anything further. Grayson Morgan has been back at it this week without restraint. Kane Patterson is on player load right now, but has been looking good. Savion Riley is doing well and has been back at it. DeRicky Wright has been back. Questionable for Saturday. Still, they had a little bit of a setback today, hopefully minor. Again, that's going to happen as you're working through healing, the scar tissue and all those kinds of things that I can talk about, but don't really know totally about. I think DeRicky is getting back healthy, and it's good to have him back at practice. And then Jake Ketchick is back involved in kind of our practice operation. He's been on a player load, but has looked good, and we're glad to have him back. So with that, I'm happy to open up for questions.
Can you talk about what you've seen with Kent Sealstrom to get the starting position?
Yeah, leadership first and foremost. I think he's been a galvanizing presence. Obviously, he's earned the respect of the program and how he's battled adversity and kept a positive outlook. He does a great job taking ownership on the field on Saturdays. Owns his mistakes, has good rapport with the receivers, and just seems to have done a great job, again, leading that unit. As far as his down and down out play, and I think there's been some bright spots there. We've had a couple misses and a couple of times where we forced it into tight spaces, but on the whole, he's protected the ball and gotten us organized on the field. I think that's one thing that probably is undervalued when you're watching the game as a spectator, but we've been on the same page in protection. We've not had situations where rushers are cut loose. That doesn't mean we've been perfect in the protection, but we have guys accounted for, in situations where we're trying to move fast or there's a missed alignment or a need for communication to a receiver to get the route right. He's been able to do that. And I just think there's a lot of maturity in his game. And so we've been pleased with how he's come in and injected life into that group, and hope to see him continued and feel like he's got the opportunity here and needs the opportunity. He deserves the opportunity to continue that progress. And I'm excited for him. And obviously, I reserve the right, and we reserve the right to keep evaluating as we go, but just have a ton of respect for him and have a lot of confidence in what he's been able to do and what he's going to continue to do.
Is AJ still the quarterback of the future, and how have the conversations gone with him about this?
Well, I mean, he's back. Just today. I mean, he was out for part of practice with elbow soreness. I think he's still battling a little bit of an arm issue. AJ's an incredibly talented player. He's young in his career still, and we know his talent. Obviously, he wants to be the guy, as does everyone, right? So, I mean, it's not surprising that, he wants that job back. I felt like he really responded well in the last couple weeks in terms of that competition level. Obviously, the setback today with his elbow, but he's got all the tools he needs to be our number one. He's still refining his process, and I know he's a great competitor, and I know he's going to be going at it. And as far as the quarterback of the future, in this time of year, we kind of survive or live week to week. So, I mean, what we do know is we have, a very talented, capable player in Ken, and we've got an incredibly talented guy that's right there in AJ that's been the starter, that's earned it at times, that, certainly we think can be a guy that takes this program to great heights. But, right now Ken's the one that's putting us in the best position, so that's why we made the decision.
A couple more injury questions. Martell Height and BJ Anderson, how are they doing?
BJ, unfortunately, it's just a longer term issue, and it was really kind of a weird sequence of events that started in the UNLV week with really what became a viral illness that kept him out of that one. And then when he came back the next week, on the first day of practice back, he felt a pull in his groin area that upon further evaluation was a more significant injury. And so, I'm hoping that we get him back before the end of the season. There's no guarantees there. And so he right now is on the shelf. He's not been out at practice taking reps. Martell is back and has responded well and will be available and has been full go at practice.
And then with 4 games left in the season, Prince Colley, Steven Sininola, some of those guys, are they close to returning or playing games?
Steven, yes. Prince has had a couple other setbacks, but Steven's been folded into the 2 deep in special teams. He's got to get his conditioning level up, and it's getting back on the bike for him. But would love to see him. And then obviously we have opportunities also to hopefully get a look at some freshmen too, and knowing that we have the 4 games now and the red shirts protected. But AJ Newberry's a guy that we're interested in seeing at some point here in the final stretch. When and where that shows up is just a matter of the opportunity we have to get him out there.
What are the conversations like between the staff and the team about some of those redshirt guys that you're looking to get some time in these last 4 games?
It's all geared towards winning, so we don't ever compromise that goal. But we believe that we have some guys that can impact winning for us, and we won't put someone on the field unless they're A, ready, and B, have the confidence of their teammates to point us in the right direction. But for example, with a guy like AJ, we've seen it all year. I mean, he's got a skill set. He's a talented running back. He's got speed, quickness, and I think the ultimate question is he ready, to be in there with pass protection, with all the other things that are involved in that position. If so, then we're going to try to get him out there and get him some run here. If not, we're gonna protect the team and keep everything geared towards working to achieve the outcomes we want.
Where do you think you can gain an advantage in the bye week? Obviously, getting healthy would be one, but in terms of self-scouting and things like that, where you don't have time to breathe during the season, what does that give you, having 2 weeks to do that?
A lot of time on our season corrections, and we take time every Monday to go back through the prior game, but there's just patterns that are showing up formationally. Again, I'm talking from a defense perspective. Formationally, certain plays that teams are using to attack our structure, so drawing awareness of those and practicing how we again, I've said this much, but take spaces earlier, where our eyes need to be, how we're leveraging those formations to help limit, those kind of 8 to 10 yard gains that just keep teams efficient on first and second down. And we spend a lot of time defensively in our man-to-man calls, particularly in the red zone area, where I feel like we've underperformed there, and those are things that need to be taught better, they need to be learned better, and they need to be trained better. So we took time on that. Offensively, it's about building out some of those package plays and creative formations that can give us matchups that we like. Again, trying to create efficiency on first and second down, knowing that we've struggled in the run game a little bit. We don't want to abandon it, but we also want to maybe stretch the field a little bit horizontally so that we can find the puncture in the run game. Those are the things you focus on beyond just, again, recovering and trying to get back healthy. I mean, we had a number of guys that were shut down last week that are, key players for us. And the priority of the week was to get back healthy. But certainly there was opportunity for us to work on us, which again becomes the charge to the team is, independent of who we're playing, can we play within our systems more efficiently and in doing so create pressure on the opponent. That's the goal.
Do you remember about recruiting Quinshon Judkins? It seems like you guys probably evaluated him and felt that he was better than his rating and all that stuff, which has turned out to be correct.
Well, yeah, I mean, a talented player in high school, has become a talented player, obviously, in this league, and we try to look beyond kind of what evaluation exists on the surface and try to find those measurables or that film, that angle that really gives us a picture into what kind of player a person is. I mean, this guy, obviously I don't need to comment on him. He's explosive, he's dynamic, he can break tackles, he's shifty. There's a lot that you like there, and there were aspects of that in his high school film certainly, and that's amplified as he's gotten into a college program. And I think they've done a really good job using him too. I mean, I think their run game is unique. They don't, the way they use the gap schemes and the pullers and the quarterback as a part of it too, I think gives him the most opportunities to break the long ones, and he certainly can do that.
The pass rush seemed to be better against Georgia, and with so many young guys involved there. Do you feel like that's something that maybe take a step in the next 4 games? Needs to.
And I think with any place we're playing a freshman and sophomore, you want to see, again, performance build over the course of the season. And if we're doing a good job on our end as a staff and we're continuing to coach and teach at the foundational level, they will improve. So much of pass rush is how 4 or 5 people collaborate, and it's not always about. And you see a lot of this is in the NFL game, certainly in our game. A lot of sacks are kind of blue collar, hard nosed, compression rush to snatching the B gap onto the ball. Those are areas that we're working to improve. If we can start with a great power rush, and if we can move bodies backwards and collapse the space around the quarterback, we're going to finish on the quarterback more frequently. When we try to win up and around on the edge and we open up those inside seams, those are step up completions or they're scrambles. And this week, the quarterback is gonna find those escape lanes and make you pay for it. I mean, that's shown up over and over again. So it's going to be really important for us to keep that cage. But again, that starts with the mentality to establish a power rush early, to collapse the space around them, and to find the sack later in the down rather than just trying to win with speed.
You were within a score potentially of Georgia if you hit the 2-point conversion. So I think with 6 minutes left, as you go back and watch the film, what are things that you took away from as positives?
Well, I mean, the mentality of the program's shifting. That's a game that as you measure year 1 to year 2. I mean, that game finished a year ago, and 2 years ago was probably one of the hardest competitive experiences of my life. A year ago, I just was so frustrated with the way we closed that game out. This year I felt like I had a team that fought. We still got to play better, and so it's just. I feel like sometimes the messages become so repetitive in here with the team with respect to finding those margins to win. We have to play a game that's closer to perfect when you're playing the number 1 team in the country. And you look at the sequence before half, man, is that frustrating. And I look at it first from my vantage point in terms of the strategic approach, where we were playing aggressively there, and they weren't taking timeouts. Could have been an opportunity for us to get into the half without incurring further damage. As it were, we throw the interception, and they have their return possession. And then, I think at the end of the game there, just really disappointed in the way we finished defensively in terms of just structure around the run game. That's something I think we've done well. And I just feel like in the last couple of games, I just feel like we've taken on a little too much water with the opponent running the ball. And that's frustrating. So again, things that we control that we can do better, but certainly I think the mentality internally is shifting. I feel a group that's out there to compete to win, and now we got to take that attitude and channel it through, again, a strategy and an understanding of what it takes to win. And the big push for us is just continuing to demand that extra investment, that going a little bit further with my teammates to see things the same way come Saturday. That too often we're coaching things that he should have done this, or we would have done that, or we could have done this. And to me, those questions need to be answered on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which gives us a chance to actually anticipate and play with confidence on Saturday. And we're pushing and leaning into this. And I think we're moving further along. Again, just like every week, I feel like in this league, we have our work cut out for us this weekend. But that's a challenge that we look forward to and we're excited for. And it's fun to go play a game on the road and to see if we can pull our best performance out against a really, really talented team.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks, guys.